I can't find my tripod anywhere. Hello, welcome to another episode of Dan Does. I'm filming this intro after I filmed the voiceover at the beginning of the video. I think I'll say the exact same thing in a minute. Anyway, it's a strange episode today. I've been ill since I got back from Salute. I've been very coldy, fluey, sort of snotty, sneezy. I stayed in my bed for a week, is what I'm getting at. And this is a video that I made predominantly from my bed. You don't see the bed. Now, I needed to think of something I could make while being bed-bound. I think I go over all this in the video. Anyway, it's a shorter video than usual, so you shouldn't get as bored. I don't think it's as possible, because it's about half the length. I just needed to pause there so we can get the title. Hello! Welcome to another episode of Dan Does. I'm sure I've gone over what this episode is in the intro, which will be recorded after I've done this. So if I haven't done it, you should be doing that, Dan. Bit unorthodox this video. I'm going to start with this big sheet of wood that I've been hoarding for a while. I don't think hoarding counts if it's one thing, does it? That's just owning a thing. Anyway, I'm going to prime this thing grey. Honestly, because I didn't have any white primer. I've got black. This is as close to white as I've got. Now, not that it's really any of your business, but I've been unwell and I've been mainly bedbound. So I wanted something that I could do from my bed. And because you lot need videos, sorry that sounds quite resentful, I want to give you the videos. I wanted to do something arty from my bed, so I'm going to do a big old drawing on this bit of wood, and to start with I'm gridding this thing off with a pencil and a ruler, just so I know. It's much easier to draw on something with gridded lines, especially if you're doing things with symmetry, which is what I'm doing here. I'm going to do something lovely and bold and bright while watching every single James Bond film from the comfort of my bed. Now, obviously, I couldn't film myself drawing this stuff. There's no cameras allowed in the bedroom, if you know what I mean. Not unless there's any kind of written permission. So there's going to be lots of jump cuts here of me using the paint pens and doing some lovely, weird graphics. What I'm going for here is just colourful. I just want colour. Bit of colour in my life. I've drawn like a fleshy moor and a ball. A blue ball with eyeball things and some worms, and this is generally just doodling. It's stress relieving for me. It was helping me heal, at least in my brain, not in my body where it counts. This is doodling, that something we all, well, most artists used to do, and we seem to have sort of left behind and replaced with professional works when we forget what doodling really is, and it's fun. This here is my homage to Le Voyage dans la Lune, or Le Voyage Dan Does la Lune. Ha! Perfect. I've always found that thing incredibly creepy. I'm kind of glad the moon guy is dead. In a selfish way. I'm sure he was a lovely guy. But we don't know that for sure. Yes, I was in my bed for a week. I'd finished all of the Bond movies, and my takeaway from that was that Madonna killed a franchise when she made that song for Die Another Day. An absolutely terrible song, the worst Bond song. It doesn't even sound like a Bond song. Hang your big bloated head in shame, Madonna. Does that sound like music to you? Other than that, I had a lovely time. I need to hammer some pins into this thing because I'm making a Plinko board. I think they're called Plinko boards. You can't find much on the internet about them. But I'm going to make a decision board. This is a decision board for me. And I chose gold nails, golden nails. They were the most expensive. They're not really gold, they're brass or something, I don't know. But I could have had silver, black or gold. And I went for gold because I thought it'd look nicest on this artwork that I'm very hesitant to hammer into. But I suppose I've got to get over that. Here's a little montagey thing. I think I hammered over 250 nails in the end. Didn't feel like 250 nails. I was quite enjoying it. but 250 nails sounds like a lot. Now it was getting to the point where I'd hammer a nail in at one point and a nail would pop out at the other, like at the other end of the bit of wood, and I think it's because of the it wasn't flat on the table. I don't know, but it was getting quite annoying, so I ended up super gluing a lot of these nails in while also hammering them, just to make sure that they're nice and sturdy. If you're wondering about the spacing of these pins or nails or whatever they are, they're about 2.5 centimeters each, spacing from each other. There's 2.5 centimeters, which is about an inch, isn't it? I don't know. We don't work in inches here. Whenever we talk about our penis size, it's metric. Sounds much more impressive. Now I've cut a couple of strips of MDF to attach to the sides. Going to prime those black first and then hot glue them and then pin them as best I can without damaging the board. It's quite thin. Now when making a Plinko board, you need to make sure that whatever you're going to use, like a marble, which I'm going to use, will fit down each gap, and if it won't fit down the gap, then the gap needs to be less than half the width of the marble or the token or whatever you're going to use, just so it can go one way or the other, otherwise it will just get stuck. Now this is no ordinary Plinko board. I'm going to add a couple of sort of obstacles or things in the way. These are 2 plastic cog things from a marble run, and I'm going to attach these where the cogs are on the artwork there, and using a pin I'm going to make sure they spin so that when the marble hits these, they rotate and send the thing off. I mean, it's not going to make too much difference to where the marble was going to go, but it just makes it a little bit more interesting. Probably the most interesting part of this board, so if you want to turn off now, you can. Not that you ever needed my permission, but I am grateful to those of you that stick around. I mean, come on, this is a short video. You can make it to the end. Now, after a quick prime in black, gonna make these look bronzy, brassy, with some bronze colours from the Two Thin Coats range. Just stipple, not dabble, stipple it on. And then I'm going to stipple on a lighter colour. And then once they're done, I'm going to slot them onto the board. Give them a little spin, and they seem to be spinning well enough for me. Good job. Great stuff. Over yonder is a drawer full of wooden discs. Don't remember where I got these from, but what I need right bloody now, is a stack of wooden discs. And I'm going to, a stack of about 8 maybe, I don't know. Checking the depth of the board, you'll see why. And then I'm going to glue them all together with some wood glue, because it is wood. And the best glue for wood is wood glue, believe it or not. I mean, there are some that would argue that plastic glue is better for wood, but those people are idiots. There, I've said it. You can really tell that I've been locked in a room for a week on my own. The wooden discs have been clamped together for about an hour. They are solid now. This is the beginning stages of rebuilding a tree. I do this many times. This is obviously a branch, but eventually if you stack enough wooden discs, life will take. Give it a little bit of water, a bit of sunlight, you'll be surprised at how resilient nature really is. Now, I got a new set of paint pens during this whole thing, so I'm going to use these paint pens to draw eyeballs on these wooden stacks. And then these eyeballs are going to use a bit of UV resin on top of those, just to give them a nice sort of sheen. Teasing that UV resin out with the nozzle there. It's actually quite responsive UV resin. It doesn't go mental or anything. You'd expect it to sort of just leak in all sorts of places, but no, it goes pretty much where you will it to. I'm not sure if it's the nozzle doing this or my thoughts. I think I'm telling it to go somewhere with my brain, and it's doing it. If there are any scientists out there, please let me know if my theory is sound. Once that UV resin is cured in the actual sun, there is sun at the moment, we put those stacks of discs where the old eyeballs were on the flowers there. They will act as bumpers, which don't really make much difference, but they add some visual interest, and it's what we all really want, to be interested. Add in 3 extra pins here where the eyeball thing is, the red eyeball, because I want to string some elastic bands between them to see if that works as some kind of bumper thing that could sort of fling the marble. It doesn't really work that well, or the whole process of the marble hitting this thing and going anywhere is so fast that you wouldn't notice. But hey, it's another bit of visual interest. That's what we want, right? Just makes the board look a bit more interesting. I think it does work, it's just not to the naked eye. Right, there it is with the 5 additional pieces added to it. I feel like there's a lot more that I could do with something like this. If I ever do one in future, I would. There's lots of little features you can do. Do you remember Screwball Scramble? Something like that. That was fun. But hey, this is my first ever Plinko board. I bought these bamboo paint stirring sticks from the Amazons, because they're lovely thick bits of wood. I know bamboo's not really wood, it's more of a vegetable, but they're good enough, they look like wood. And so I'm going to use these bamboo sticks, once sawn, to make little trays at the bottom of this Plinko board. Now the whole point of this Plinko board is that it's a decision board, so I'm going to have several pockets for the marble to fall into. I'm not actually going to label them. I'm going to leave them sort of coloured and pretty looking, because you can decide what the board represents when you go to use the board. So I'm going to paint them green, red, and then leave the very centre section black, which obviously means death. If the marble goes in there, you will die. It's just the nature of Plinko. I mean, green means yes, red means no. Green means go, red means stop. You know, or you could just be playing roulette on a very tiny roulette wheel. That's not a wheel, that's a Plinko board. When the marble falls down the Plinko board and lands in one of these trays, hopefully not the death one, it will just roll out and roll away. So I'm going to put in a little guardrail here, making sure that I can still fit my fat fingers into these slots to fish the marbles out. I'm going to use some tongue depressors here. They're slightly larger than lollipop sticks, and paint them black and just stick them to the front. It's very satisfying, this, sticking bits of wood together. It's like I'm a carpenter, but I'm not. It's like I'm cheating. It's like I'm looking at carpenters thinking, you studied to be a carpenter. Did you look at this shit? I did this with glue and bits of bamboo that's not even proper wood. I bet that carpenters don't even really use hot glue. I bet they just use wood glue because it's in their contract. You're a carpenter, use wood glue. I don't know why I've got it in for carpenters. I think I always wanted to be a carpenter, like Jesus was. Do you think if Jesus had a laser cutter, he would open an artisanal stall selling all kinds of crap, and then eventually, when nobody bought anything, he would just flip the tables, as he liked to do? Oh God, get out of this, Dan. People aren't going to like this conversation. Bloody move on. Anyway, we come to the end here. I burnt my finger, by the way. There, I don't know if you could tell. That was him punishing me. Sorry about that. Before I test this Plinko out, I think it's called Plinko board. I want to say a big welcome to the 2 new patrons. Dan Smith, thanks Dan, and Doomnami, thank you Doomnami, thank you to both of you, and thank you to all the other patrons. Your names will be appearing shortly. Right, so this board, I have not labelled the tray at the bottom there. Green, I'm assuming, means good things, red means bad things. Although in the world of fruit, it's not necessarily true. The red fruits are actually quite sweet. The black means death, much in the same way as black fruit does, apart from blackberries. Right, so let's give this a go. I have a little black marble here. Just chuck that in. Oh, bloody hell. Well, I'd like to say I've had a good life.